What's up, everybody? We're back. Episode 17, the end of the bench show, where the fans go. We got Tyler Cassidy back in the mix today after his little hiatus from the pod. Cass, what's going on, dude?
Not much. Just doing my best to live life during some tough times and, doing what we can. How you doing, Scotty Cass?
Doing good. We talked a lot today,
Great day.
about everything going on. I've had a few people text me since last episode that I put out, asking my thoughts on everything, why we didn't really cover it, and I definitely have strong thoughts about what's going on. I don't think, if you know me, it's no secret how I feel. I don't want to really voice it on here. I wanted this place to be an escape for everyone. We're during the craziness that's going on. We're not really doing, time sensitive episodes. Like the one today is going to be a very fun episode. It's going to be whenever you can listen, you can, and you can just pick it up whenever you want, just to take your mind off some things. And that's kind of how, that's how we're approaching the pod, during everything. But Cass, I do want to touch on a somewhat, not fun baseball topic with you because we haven't talked about it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you think baseball is coming back? Just straight up.
Yeah. I just think you miss out this season and the CBA expires, you're losing 18 months of baseball because you won't be able to negotiate in good faith. And that 18 months might be, an optimist point of view because we could be going 30 months without baseball. We could be, this could be the end of the sport. At the end of the day, I think they're going to renegotiate. I know some reports came out today from Andy Martino saying, despite the MLB saying they weren't going to counter, the MLB was going to counter. And it was like, this is not how negotiations work, guys. It's like the MLB sends over a proposal, and the MLB union's like, no, absolutely not. We won't even consider that. We're not going to counter. And then they're like, oh, but here's a different offer. And it's like, oh, that's actually the definition of a counter, you dumbasses. And it's like, so I think that if they don't have it done by next week, we're in a lot of trouble. But I think next week we're for sure going to have something. Where's your meter at, Scott? You are a yes guy? You a no guy?
I'm a no guy. I've been pretty much a no guy from the beginning. Just when the first offers came out and then they countered and they're still so far apart. And, I'm more of a no guy because of the time in which they have to work under. I think it's a pretty hectic schedule that they're under and a tight deadline. And I just think having the CBA expire so close to now makes it extremely hard to negotiate because both sides don't want to start that CBA negotiation, on the wrong side or, get it at a disadvantage. I think if the CBA was a little further out from expiring, the deal probably would be done by now, to be honest. But I don't think either side has the trust that they need, to make this deal happen, which is sad, and it pushes baseball back for a lot more than just this year.
Yeah, but here's the only reason I'm so positive right now is the owners agreed to 60 games prorated pay. The players are just asking for 82. Well, the players were asking for 114. I think they were just asking for 114 to be jackasses. But the players really want 82, in my opinion. So if we could land in the middle somewhere there, I think 82 to 90. I think the owners will eventually suck it up. Maybe we'll have to do some deferrals and stuff with a little interest. I don't know that money. I don't have it. But when they agreed to do the 60 games prorated, I became very confident that something was going to happen.
Yeah, I get that, but 60 games prorated is still a third of the salary.
Agreed.
And I heard today that, I don't know how credible it was because I heard it in passing on a radio show that the MLB is probably going to lose at least $50 million. I think it may be per team, with all this. And if they played 82 games or whatever that sweet spot number is, it would add an additional $10 million of loss per team, which to me is not worth not playing. I don't think $50 million honestly that's a lot of money, obviously, but for huge corporations like baseball, MLB as a whole, and each team, it's it's
It's
nothing.
5% of what they make every year.
Exactly.
Like
And
even
I
less.
mean, honestly, because the Texas governor says you could have like 50% of like capacity at sporting events.
I saw that. Do you think the Astros fans are gonna, or Yankee fans are gonna like? There's no way the Astros get fans after all this shit. Like, no shot. Like,
no. So
come on.
I actually have a more wild proposal. I think that like Texas definitely has enough like space where you could probably get it done. I don't know if it would be the smartest thing in the world to have like that many fans, but I think they should just all play in Houston, and everyone gets the advantages that the Astros had, but the Astros don't.
So they all get to bang on a trash can.
Yeah, like they all use the Astros setup and everything from the past 2-3 years, whatever it was, but the Astros can't use it, and the Astros have to face everyone like that.
I like it. I want to get wild and like do the Astros only get ghost runners, so they only get to advance one base at a time every single time something. I want something stupid crazy, like they start with 1 out an inning. Ghost runners, you can only advance one base.
I want something with 2 outs.
absurd. Yeah, I want something absurd. Like I want their bench coach to have to get in a plate appearance every game, and the pitcher gets to decide when it is. I want that kind of thing to happen, but. Yeah, I can't imagine a world where the MLB agrees to one team or 2 teams get fans and no one else does.
Right. I think that if that was the case, then they would try to make Texas work. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, Texas is a huge sports state, especially baseball and football. Like, they could definitely make it work probably with, like, facilities, but it'd be so fucking hot, dude. Like, that would be...
Oh, my goodness. CeCe would have retired 2 years ago.
Chapman would love it. Aroldis Chapman throwing 105 all year.
He'd still be wearing long sleeves the whole year. He'd be like, oh, I can't even tell the difference. So
he'd be dripping sweat, but he'd be throwing 105 off the bat. Like it'd be fucking
great. Betances would be great with the Mets this year. It would be a great thing. Art Teixeira would be in his prime during this kind of time. Bunch of the slow starters.
Maybe he comes back.
No, he's such a fucker. Did you see his stuff about the players, the union should just go play for the love of America? And it's like, Terry, you made $180 million in one contract. Shut up. You like, I know you work for ESPN, but like, you just make yourself look like an ass.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I mean, sports coming back would be very good for the country morale, but I mean, it's just a little strong. Like, you don't love America if you don't want to play a sport for less than you're contractually obligated to make.
Oh, Scott, we need you to go to work and make 22% of what you make, but it's for America.
Might as well, honestly.
Yeah. Right. Well, hey, sorry. Shout out to your business.
The amount I work, like I probably do work for 22%
that is true. You might only get paid for 22% of the time that you work.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely what it feels like.
When this pod takes off any day now, you'll be able to retire.
Yeah, we just need a few more sponsors.
We're close. And if you hear that, hit Scott up.
Yeah, I mean, I'll plug anything. I don't give a shit. Yeah. You could do whatever you want.
Shameless. You put Viagra on the air, Scott's plugging it.
Dude, like all these
Scott
radio
will say
shows
he uses it for this.
All these radio shows get like that Blue Chew ad, and like I'm not above that. Like I would definitely come on here, and
I'm not too proud to do that.
Accept all of that. Like that's
good for you. I love it. I love that you're doing what you got to do. Oh, that's annoying. I'm so sorry. That was to get ready for our pod today.
Yeah, I told you it was 7:30. I don't know why you said
I know.
it was 7.
I had it on for 7. So I'm here. I made it. Congratulations.
You made it.
Sorry for everyone who just checked their phone to see that their alarm clock was going off.
All right. So I forgot what we were saying. Your alarm
I think something about you needing Blue Chew to keep this podcast going.
I don't need Blue Chew to keep this podcast going.
I think no, I meant the product.
Oh yeah, that's whatever. So yeah,
Sorry,
so
Mom.
Moral of the story: baseball is not looking good, and basketball is coming back.
Yeah,
and I have to say, I do not like the format in which they're coming back under. The
Celtics playing.
I don't know. I didn't even look at that.
I bet that's why you didn't like it.
No, I was a big proponent of the group thing that they wanted to do, like 20 teams, 4 groups, 5 teams in each group, battle it out like World Cup soccer style. I just thought that would have been cool and like weird. And then this is like 22 teams. You play 8 games for seeding, and then there's maybe a play-in game for the 8th seed, or there's maybe
100% a
not.
play-in game, it looks like.
I mean, for the West, probably, but the Wizards, I think, have to go like 5-3, and
I think the Wizards are only 2 games back.
No, I'm pretty sure they're like 4.5.
Do you got it, or you want me to check?
I'll look it up.
Yeah, probably good.
I mean, like, look, I'm not throwing a shit fit because at the end of the day, I'm happy that they're coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Wizards are 24-40, and the Magic are 30-35.
So they're 5 games back.
Yeah, I mean, they're really. It's pushing it. It's pushing it. I mean, if John Wall comes back, I guess that'd be
4
cool.
games, right?
They
have to finish within 4 games.
Yeah, within 4 games.
Which, I mean, but it gives the Wizards a great opportunity because if you told them they had to make up 5.5 games in the next 16 games, that's a lot more unlikely than 1.5 in the next 8. You know?
I guess, but I mean, you also have to consider who they're going to be playing now. They're going to be playing the best of the best.
Well, yeah. I agree with that. But I mean, I kind of like how they're doing it where they're just keeping the same schedule and just if that's not a playoff team, we're just going to skip. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're skipping. I think they're going to do it based off of like strength of schedule, and then if a team that you were supposed to play isn't there, they're going to find like an equivalent like team that is there.
They told me. I'm pretty sure I saw they were skipping.
Like, I saw that too, but then I also saw what I said, which kind of sucks for the Grizzlies because they had the hardest strength of schedule remaining.
So they're gonna have to play like good teams.
Yeah, so now like strength of schedule, like comparison wise, they probably have to face like the fucking Lakers and Bucks a couple times.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's tough.
It will be fun to watch in the West. The Pelicans, if they can catch the Grizzlies, or at least make it a 3-game series, because those are 2 of the more young and exciting teams in the NBA.
Yeah, and I'm also really excited for that. Yeah, I'm excited for Devin Booker to like get a shot on the big stage too.
And that's another thing. We're all overlooking because like people like Devin Booker and like these Pelicans players are, like haven't had a chance in forever, and like this might be the only chance they get to playing really meaningful basketball in the stretch.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. Like they have the teams that are like quote unquote out of it are exciting to watch. Like the Kings are not like a boring team to watch. The Pelicans are exciting. Bradley Beal is still one of the best kept secrets in the NBA almost. I mean,
and then Book.
Yeah, and then D Book, who has a huge following because he's in every single 2K like My Player story like every year.
And he's dating Kylie Jenner.
Damn. Kendall's better. Hot take.
Oh no, he's dating Kendall.
Smart man. D Book. Barnes and Noble, as I call
him. My question is: so if like the Suns fall to like 6 games back with only 5 to play, do they still have to keep playing?
I think so. Yeah, because they're playing the 8 games for seeding, but they're also playing it for money reasons. Because I think the NBA is making like hundreds of millions of dollars or like slightly under that just for these like teams playing 8 more regular season games.
90s millions in dollars?
Yeah, like it's gonna be nuts. There's gonna be 6 games a day.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Like July 31st.
How many different arenas are there? How many arenas are there?
I think 3.
That'll be really cool because you're gonna get a day game and a night game in every pretty much arena.
Yeah. And I think it starts July 31st, which is a Friday. So, I mean, the NBA, they do everything right. I swear. Yep. Like, I'm taking
We didn't hear anything about these negotiations. They just got it done, and it was done.
Yeah. And part of that is because, like, the NBA players got most of their money already. So I understand all that. But I think even if they didn't, it wouldn't be leaked like the MLB is leaked.
No, because the NBA, you're right, does everything right. The MLB now will probably start its season July 31st as well, and they'll play every game at the same time NBA games are, and they'll be like, oh, why can't we get ratings? And it'll be like, because you're stupid.
Yeah. I think honestly, like that's another reason why maybe baseball doesn't come back. Like there were already owners who thought it wasn't going to be worth it. If your only money is going to be TV money and you're going up against like the NBA playoffs for basically your whole season,
I know it's going to be tough.
You're already the third sport, like in a regular year nowadays.
I know. But
Like,
I mean, I still think they're coming back. But we'll see. It's gonna be interesting. The next 7. By the time we talk next weekend, we'll know for sure either way.
yeah, I just think it's funny how baseball is like the third sport, and if they come back at this point, they're probably still going to be the third sport because I think NHL playoffs is much more entertaining than baseball.
They might be able to get like that if they start July 4th. They'll get a solid 4 weeks or 3 weeks of being the only sport. So that would be cool. But
it would be cool, but I also just wonder, like, at this point, like, are people just fed up with baseball? And, like, will they watch it?
I heard Ruco's take the other day, and I really liked it. It's like sometimes when you're like before this Twitter and stuff, it was like when you saw a cake made, the cake was made. Like, congratulations, you didn't see all the hard work that got put into it. But now you see all these tweets coming out and stuff like that. And if at the end of the day the cake still gets made, you're like, all right, congratulations, you did it. So that's what I'm hoping happens. I'm hoping that I'm hoping this is just the age of information, and we just, we're not waiting for the newspaper to come out the next day. We're just getting it live, So that's what I'm hoping. This is a normal negotiation, but I don't know. I've never been in one of those rooms.
Yeah, I hear you. And I think what Ruco said, like, it makes sense in theory, but it's also like the things that are leaking out, like, we're not seeing how the cake is made. We're seeing how, like, disgusting the cake could be.
Oh, yeah. So it's McDonald's.
It's like working at Taco Bell. Like, sometimes you just don't want to.
Come on. Why do you have to hate on our favorite place?
All right, but I wanna start having some fun. For the real reason we're coming on, you hit me up in a mailbag saying you want to do an NBA lineup. If I'm not explaining this right, you can jump in. But an NBA lineup of current players.
Yep.
Not necessarily the best at each position, but one that you could, like, have a functional lineup with.
Yeah. So
more or less.
I thought of this idea, when I was talking about this idea originally, when I was thinking of like a functional lineup, that Lakers team that didn't win came to mind because they just put a bunch of superstars on a team with Nash. No, because they at least made it the finals that year. The Nash, Kobe, Meta, Al Gasol, and Dwight Howard. Yeah. Like, there's 4 Hall of Famers on that starting lineup, and they were the 8th seed. And that's what I thought about of, like, I want to make a team that's functional. I mean, the only problem is when you make a team that's functional, you're going to come up with, like, the best players because you're not getting, I mean, you probably have Marcus Smart or somebody has Marcus Smart, but you're probably not getting those players because you're trying to get the better players at each position. So I understand that this is an all-star team, and I'm not trying to say that this is a hard exercise to do. It was just more fun to get, like, oh, I want this guy to shoot, and I want this guy to play defense, and I want, getting the most complete team that you could.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of like the baseball lineups that me and Pat did, where at the end of the day, like, yes, you could see this as an all-star lineup, like when we give this to you guys.
Absolutely.
But there are also players on here where you wouldn't be surprised if they were an all-star, but you also wouldn't be surprised if they weren't an all-star. They're just good players.
And I haven't seen your list, but I'm guessing – I mean, I know my list. It's not the 5 best players in basketball, and I'm guessing yours isn't either. So
you have 2 superstars, and I have – I wouldn't classify me as having any superstars. I have stars, but –
And I think that's more fun. I mean, these are almost teams that you could see having with, like, cap room. Like, you could almost see, like, this – everyone becomes a free agent and these teams deciding to assemble. And it'd be cool like that. So, I mean, again, there's some flaws in the logic, I understand, because obviously we're going to pick the higher tier of players. But at the same time, it was like, well, I want players who complement each other. I don't want just 5 players who are going to shoot every time they touch the ball.
Yeah. So let's kick it off. We're going to do – I mean, we didn't look at it through, like, point guard through center. We do have it that way. So let's just call it 5-1.
Yep.
So why don't you start? Who do you have playing the 5 or traditional big man position?
And my 5 really complements my 1 through 4 because I have some shooters. My 5 is Hassan Whiteside. I understand that he's left a lot. He's not the same Hassan Whiteside that was leading the Heat to playoff runs, and now he's kind of lost where he is. But he was still like number 2 or 3 in the league in block shots this year. And it's like, that's all I want. I don't want – this guy's not going to ask for the ball. He's going to catch alley-oops, and he's going to play great defense around the rim. I I don't need another person on my team that wants to score. So I want Hassan to just kind of stand by the hoop, play defense, be my last line of defense, and swat shit every time he comes in there. So I went with Hassan at the 5 just to kind of anchor my defense. And then the other 4 positions I was luckily able to relegate to some offense.
Yeah, and I think you said a Whiteside is a lost. I don't know if that's really like a fair thing to say about him.
He's just under the radar now, like compared to when he was on the Heat, like because he was leading those Heat teams, I felt like, to the playoffs, and now it's like, where's Hassan Whiteside? You know?
Yeah, I think the difference is really between who, like, when he was on the Heat, he played with a lot of guys who, off the pick and roll, they would drive more.
Yeah.
Like when you had Dragic running it with him, for example. Now in Portland, he has CJ, he has Dame, and they're not looking really to drive off the screen. They're looking to just pull up.
Yeah.
So, like, the finishing ability for Hassan Whiteside isn't always there. But like you said, I mean, he's number 1 this year in block percentage with 8.3. Yeah. So, and he was very good last year. Also.
That means every 10 shots that goes up, he's blocking the shot. That's like, I mean, every 11 or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and no, I mean,
I think he's still overrated a little, or not overrated. He's thought of differently because I'm pretty sure he signed a max contract at some point.
Yeah, it's like with the Heat.
And it's like, okay, he's not that player anymore because if you put Hassan on your team, you're not automatically a contender. But like, right. I don't know. I like the pick, and I'm operating without a salary cap, which is nice. So,
yeah, that should be said. We obviously didn't look at salaries or any bullshit like that, and you'll see that when we get some listener responses too.
And if you don't like it, you can shove it.
But yeah, I think the center, you're really nowadays just looking for a rim running guy and someone who could just rebound and dish it out. Yeah. Which is funny because I did not necessarily go that way. I went with Miles Turner of the Pacers.
Good pick. Like it.
I like Miles Turner. I almost said love. I don't love Miles Turner. I like Miles Turner.
Oh, that's a wrong word.
I like watching him play. He can stretch the floor a little bit at the 5, which is very important with the rest of my lineup, especially with the guy we're gonna talk about in a few minutes. And he's a good shot blocker. He actually led the league last season in block percentage. Absolutely. I think only 8 other guys have had a block percentage higher than his last season. He's not like number 8 overall, but like 3 of them are Manute Bol, who was 795. Manute Bol had three seasons over 10.6.
Absurd.
And like they were basically all in a row. Like it's fucking insane. But Miles Turner, kind of like, I mean, Hassan Whiteside's probably a bigger name because everyone knows he had that big contract.
Yeah.
Miles Turner a little bit more under the radar, partially because he plays in Indiana. But he had a really good season last year, and he was putting up a productive season this year. He can rebound, he can block shots, he can hit shots. And for this lineup that I made, he's good enough. There are better options, obviously, at center, for both of us.
Yeah.
Especially like when we're thinking just defense, like you could have went Gobert, with your lineup, and it probably would have worked out just fine. But he gives people coronavirus. So.
Yep, we're keeping Corona off the team. But I like Miles because, I didn't even think about this. Hassan can't shoot a 3. Miles at least can get out there and make a wide open 3 or something.
Yeah,
so
that's Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, no, it's good. He's not as good of a shot blocker as Hassan, but he's so much better of an offensive player than Hassan.
He's right. He's right there with him this season.
Really?
Yeah, he has. Hassan's having an otherworldly block percentage year with 8.3, but Miles Turner is 6.5, which I'll take that. That's better than Anthony Davis. So it's 4th in the league.
On the Lakers.
Yeah. So at the 4, I wanted your guy, and I was happy that you sent me your lineup first, so I didn't because I tried not to overlap you or talk about other guys that I talked about last episode with Pat.
Yeah.
I know who you have at 4, but tell everyone who you have at the 4 because I absolutely love this guy.
So I have Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat. He's probably going to win the most improved player of the year, and he's probably going to come in the top 5 defensive player of the year. Mm-hmm. Again, especially on my team, you'll see the other 3 players, but I have some shooters. I want guys who are going to play defense. Bam can play defense. He's an incredible passer for a big man. One of the better passers, big men passers in the league. He rebounds effectively. He's pretty much a walking triple-double. And as a power forward, that's really rare. He runs really well. And he can put up points when he needs to. So, I really wanted him for the defense and then everything that comes with it. He's just a really complete player that goes under the radar. He's a top 10 player in basketball this year. And
this year,
no, of course, not in. Yeah,
one day he will be though. Regardless,
no, I agree. To me, he's a more athletic Nikola Jokic, because he is not Nikola Jokic. So, but yeah, no, he can. I mean, the way he passes the ball as a big man. I mean, people credit Jimmy Butler with turning around that Heat team. Not turning around because it didn't really need a full turning around, but that Heat team is so good because of Bam and Jimmy Butler meshing together.
Yeah.
And while this is a completely ignorant statement because I have no idea, it doesn't seem like he has much of an ego at all. Kind of just seems like a nice guy to be around. And I was like, and my whole team, you'll see, other than Hassan Whiteside, who's got some stuff on him, but my whole team is pretty much just really nice guys. So
yeah, I mean,
was like my pick.
I've heard Jimmy Butler talk about Bam and his relationship with Bam, and he can't speak like highly enough of him, like too highly enough of him. Bam, and I think that honestly says all I need to know, because if Bam gets along with a guy like Jimmy Butler, I know he's gonna. I just know so much about him just from there. Like, he works extremely hard. That's what it means. He works extremely hard. He focuses on every area of the game, and I don't think he has an ego. I mean, I don't think you can be as good of a passer as him at the position that he plays and have a huge ego.
I agree, and
because it's hard to get the ball at his position.
I love what you just said about getting along with Jimmy Butler. To me, it was always like, if you could get along with
Kobe,
this guy or this, Kobe. If you could get along with Kobe, I thought, if he thinks highly of enough of you as a, competitor, that says something about you. And Jimmy Butler's a psychopath when he gets on the practice floor. So if he's getting along with Bam Adebayo, that means that Bam's obviously doing something right. I mean, this guy couldn't get along with Cat, and we both agree that Cat is probably a more talented player than Bam, but he hated Cat. So,
I honestly, I didn't even give a guy like Karl Anthony Towns any thought when I did this.
Jimmy Butler has a lot more on us than we think.
Because honestly, I could have put him at center and been exactly the same type of player as Miles Turner.
Yeah.
But I just think Cat's super fucking soft, and I don't want him anywhere on my team because he would not mesh with this team.
No, I completely agree with you. Yeah, no, you want someone who's going to go out there and compete, and while we're just making assumptions based on what we see on TV, it's still, again, Jimmy Butler hates Cat and he loves Bam. So I think we did it right so far. So who's your four? Am I going to hate you for this one? Is this what I'm going to hate you for?
Yeah, so people don't know this, Cass, and I think you do. I am not the biggest 76er fan. I don't think their core works together with Embiid and Simmons and Tobias Harris.
They're the only people who have decided to get bigger when everyone else got smaller.
Yeah. I think Embiid is big enough to change that trend in basketball. I will give him that. He's not my cup of tea, but he is very talented. He is not the player I'm picking.
You did not pick Ben Simmons as your four.
I picked Ben Simmons as my four.
Thing. All right. Well, this is the end of the pod. Ben Simmons is a point guard.
He's anything. He can literally be anything.
So your point guard is a center, is what I'm hearing. Is Dwight Howard your point guard? No,
Ben Simmons. See, you look at him as a point guard. I look at him as a point forward.
He takes the ball up every time.
He does take the ball up every time now, but I also think that's misutilizing his best skill. I want to see Ben Simmons as a roll man on a pick and roll, and I want to see him pick the ball up and just bring it up all the way. He's only being used one way, and I think he could be used multiple ways. And my lineup, once we finish, you'll see that he could be used multiple ways. This is the pick that I knew I'd have to defend because I know that I don't really like him that much because he refuses to get better.
You're not that hot for this pick, and you're wrong on this pick. Okay, fair. No, I'm glad we got this discussion.
I'm not wrong because I'm not wrong. I know I'm not
fair.
wrong.
Sounds like every argument I've ever had with a girl.
I'm not. I'm not
I'm
wrong
not wrong because
because
I'm not wrong.
Ben Simmons is at his best in the open court and underneath the basket.
I
Miles
agree.
Turner will stretch it, and Ben Simmons will have that whole area that he actually excels in to himself,
But this,
which
I
is
mean, I
better
guess
than the Ben Simmons you know
now I
now.
understand why you prefaced this and said we're doing positionless and all this stuff because you're literally just doing 5 people.
Ben Simmons is a
point
4.
guard. It's a point guard.
Whatever.
I'm glad we can agree on that.
I'm honestly, I think you, and I'm not blaming you. I think a lot of people have this misconception of Ben Simmons only being able to do like this one certain thing because that's all Philly has him do because he's been coached wrong his whole career.
Well,
if Ben Simmons only played with Ben Simmons and not with Joel Embiid, which he has this season and has played significantly better than when he plays with Embiid, you would have a different opinion.
are you coaching your team too?
Yeah, I'm absolutely fucking coaching my team. This team wouldn't work without me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you. The first pick in the draft, Scott takes himself.
Yeah, of course. That's how I always do it.
So okay? No, that's fair. If you wanted to pick a point guard to play power forward, that's fine. I don't care.
What coach would I have that's better than me?
Greg Popovich. Next question.
No, I don't think so. Pop's old. He wouldn't get it.
Pop's gonna be on the line any second now. He's a big EOTB fan.
I wish.
Him and Steve Kerr would be here in a second.
So look, I'm just not going to convince you that I'm right about Ben Simmons. Okay. I don't know why you're giving me such a hard time about him playing the 4.
Because
to be honest,
because that's how he plays.
But it's literally the same thing as like if you put Draymond Green here, where would you put him?
As a 4.
It's literally the same thing as Ben Simmons.
No, because Steph Curry plays the 1 in the Warriors and Clay plays it 2.
Oh my god, dude!
You're telling me that Al Horford and Joel Embiid don't exist and Tobias Harris doesn't exist? That's okay.
Oh my god.
It's sad, but Thanos, little snap, and they're gone. I'm not mad about it. I'm a big Truth fan.
I can't believe you right now. You're so narrow-headed with this right now.
I mean, listen, you bent the rules to get a win. I mean, that's fine.
No, now I'm scared to go on because my 3 technically doesn't play the 3 every possession either.
Does he play basketball? Because at this point, I'm gonna be curious.
You know what? My team's gonna my team would rape you. First of all.
End of the episode.
All right, who's your 3? Your fucking superstar that you.
This is my superstar. This is, in my opinion, the second best player in basketball. Probably third, actually, because I'd love to be honest. But Kawhi Leonard is my 3. Best defender in basketball. One of the better offensive players in basketball. We literally saw him single-handedly bring the Raptors a championship. They had Kyle Lowry. Okay.
Kawhi brings the ball up a lot, too. So you're sure he's a small forward? Or? Just wondering.
So Kawhi Leonard is my 3. There's really not a whole lot to say about this. He's the best. Fantastic player. Show that he has a winning mindset. He's not going to ruffle any feathers, and he's going to lock up defensively. My 3, 4, and 5, and my 2, 3, 4, and 5 are like pretty much the best defenders at their positions, and I'm fine with that.
Wrong, but okay.
Oh, well, Ben Simmons is defending.
Ben Simmons is a great defender.
I know. He's a great point guard defender.
Miles Turner's Ben Simmons. First of all, we didn't even get into matchups. I don't even want to go there with you now because you're going to be a fucking
Hassan would destroy Miles Turner on the ball.
No, he wouldn't.
Not like offensively, but he would do. And Bam would destroy Ben Simmons on the ball. Could you imagine Bam would back down Ben Simmons like it was nothing?
When the Sixers and Heat play each other, Ben Simmons and Bam is going to be the matchup.
All right.
For you to say Ben Simmons is not a 4 is just narrow-minded. It keeps bringing you back.
Al Horford's going to be guarding Bam.
Al Horford won't be playing. He'll be on the bench.
Al Horford is played the 4 all year.
Okay, well, it's winning time now, so he won't be playing.
I know you don't like Al Horford because you guys got a divorce, but he's still a great player.
Not this year.
Because the Sixers have the wrong mindset and they try to go too big.
Al Horford is literally one of the slowest players in the NBA this year. He's not good anymore.
I'm just letting you know. I saw a whole article about how LSU is point guard U, and they had a big picture of Ben Simmons on the cover.
Whatever. I'm
gonna write a strongly worded email. Who's your 3? Who's getting dominated by Kawhi in this matchup?
Um, Kawhi's the better player in this matchup, but my guy could definitely hold his own.
Butler.
So no, it's not Butler. So when the Raptors won last year, they won deservedly so, but this player getting hurt changed everything.
Durant?
The guy, no, not Durant. Klay Thompson.
Not a three.
Yes, oh my God. You are so fucking narrow-minded with basketball. I'm never having you on to talk basketball again. I don't understand. He can easily play the three. Let's see. Hold no. How tall is Klay Thompson?
He's one of my favorite players in the NBA, so I'm not going to insult Klay.
Klay Thompson, 6'6". Guarantee he played the three this year when they had D'Angelo Russell too. So eat shit.
Well, actually, Klay didn't play any position this year because he tore his ACL.
That's true, but he would have played three.
Okay, well, what a shit.
Turn on 2K when we're done, and and tell me Klay Thompson's second position.
I will, but what's his first position?
Shooting guard, but I had another person there that I need to have.
Okay. I'm listening to you.
The team that I made is a team that I would want to watch, and the only way I could have Klay on there is if I put him at the three. So that's what I did.
Okay, you win. You win.
He is the best shooter in basketball to me.
Okay.
You can say Steph, which is fine because he has better.
They're 1 and 2. They're two of the best shooters in NBA history.
I would rather watch Klay Thompson shoot because I think it's more aesthetically pleasing. I mean, you know me. Literally, the only thing I do on a basketball court is shoot. So I get more joy watching Klay than Steph.
You make some cool layups sometimes.
Make cool layups. I rebound very well for my size.
No joke there.
I do though.
No, you do.
I get such a bad rap from my guests on podcasts. I don't understand.
You literally, when I wasn't on last week, told me I was a bad shooter.
I mean, relatively speaking, compared to our friend group, you're not the best.
I want to go out. If we could get into them right now, I'd be shooting.
You're not the best. I mean, it's me, Kev Jones, and then you.
So,
and obviously Tim Burris.
Far and away one. What did you just say?
Tim Burris is obviously a better shooter.
Tim Burris isn't in the top 50.
He's like number 4.
No, I'm sorry. Tim Burris is not.
That's rude.
I'm not, you'd probably play Tim at your 5, to be honest. Tim's 5'8", everyone at home.
I tell you right now, Hassan Whiteside ain't getting around Tim's ass. That's for damn sure.
That's for sure. Well, that's I think State.
All right. So whatever. Klay.
Off of Tim's ass.
I like Klay at the 3. You can argue it. We're going a little small. That's all. We're going a little small. That's not what she said.
That's me.
So who is your number 2?
Again,
this is when we get control. This is when we get like deep cut like basketball with this position.
Yeah, this guy's one of my favorite players in the NBA. And again, I want Kawhi and Bam in my 1 shooting the ball the most. My 2 is Jrue Holiday. Anyone who doesn't know, I'm a pretty big Laker fan, and the Lakers played the Pelicans this year, and Jrue was guarding LeBron down the stretch. And after the game, they asked LeBron, and LeBron's like, well, he's like the best defender in the league. He can guard 1 through 4. And I was like, all right, well, that means a lot when LeBron James is saying somebody's the best defender in the league. He's led that Pelicans team. He scores about 17, 18 a game. Perfect what I need. He's going to play incredible defense, known as one of the best human beings. And I know I'm putting a lot of stock in like being a really good person on my team. Yeah, we're all going to fucking sit around and sing Kumbaya in halftime. But like, I do think there's something to be said about chemistry. And I think Jrue just does a lot of that. And again, when LeBron James is saying that you're one of the best defenders in the league, and you're as a 2 actively guarding LeBron James, who could play 1 through 5 or 1 through 8 on Scott's team, and you could do Jrue Holiday and say that, then I'm gonna take that under consideration. And again, in my opinion, I have like 2 through 5 the best defensive player at their positions. So,
I mean, that's fine. You can make that argument, but
you don't like Jrue?
No, I like Jrue. I mean more about your 2 through 5 best defenders in the league argument.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm definitely might be. There's definitely people in, Rudy Gobert's as good of a defender as Hassan Whiteside, if not a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, Gobert,
Draymond a better.
Embiid when he tries.
No, Draymond's a better defender than Bam probably sometimes.
It's more versatile, probably.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so I have a top tier defender in all their positions.
Yeah,
So.
And I have a top tier defender in my position at my number 2, and that's Marcus Smart.
I knew you would.
Celtics. Yeah, I wanted, so last episode Pat and I did like favorite player in each league, but we couldn't pick a guy on our team.
Yeah.
So I had to pick Luka, which that's not like a bad thing. I love Luka. It's like 1A and 1B, but Marcus Smart is 1A.
Yeah.
So I mean, Smart, he's one of those guys, dude. Like those players who you just don't have to worry about. Like when you see them on the floor, you know exactly what they're gonna do. They're gonna play their fucking ass off. Marcus Smart, you're not gonna like what I'm about to say, but you can live with him guarding 1 through 4 in the NBA.
Oh, I agree with that.
And even some 5s, to be honest. I mean, like, he is undersized, but like I just think of the old Kristaps Porzingis story where he said the hardest defender that guarded him all year was Marcus Smart, because he's just in your face. He gets under you. Pause. Yeah. If there's a loose ball, Marcus Smart will be on the floor, and if he's on my team, I like my chances. If there's what was that game this year? Oh my God, was it when they played the Lakers? And Smart tipped it out. Oh my God! And Brown hit someone hit a shot at the buzzer.
It wasn't the Lakers, but I do know what shot you're talking about. Jalen hit the game, or Tatum hit the game winner, right? Over the Knicks.
I think Jalen hit it. I think it was against the Knicks, to be honest.
Tatum hit a game winner against the Knicks too. I saw, but I don't know which was which.
Yeah, but regardless, I mean, Marcus Smart, he could do it all on the field, on the floor. He's a better shooter now than he was when he entered the league. An amazing defender, hard-nosed guy. He's a good rebounder for a guard as well. Sometimes he gets overshadowed because no one's better at rebounding at that position than Russell Westbrook. Or I guess in your mind, Ben Simmons. So.
Marcus Smart is one of those players that you hate him if he's not on your team and you love him if he is on your team, which I always think speaks to how good of a player they are. Because, I always think of other players like Pat Bev is a little like that. Like you hate Pat Bev if he's not on your team. You love him if he is on your team. Same with Smart. I mean, I hate him because I'm a Laker fan. I think he's kind of an ass, but he also has gotten every ounce out of his talent that he could, and I think that's incredible. And that's something cool to watch. And he's not going to give you a whole lot of – what is he averaging, like 11 or 12 a game this year? So
let me look it up.
He's not going to give you a ton of offense, but he's going to lock up defensively and down the stretch. Like if we were playing against each other, and I know we didn't do it this way, you could put him on Kawhi and be like, all right, we have a chance here.
That actually was what I was going to do.
So, yeah, and then Clay would have to play the 2, like his normal position.
Marcus Smart is averaging 12 points in 53 games, and he only started 39 of them.
Yeah. So I mean, Marcus is almost your perfect 6th man.
Yeah, but I think my 6th man is close to home guy. But just to wrap up Marcus Smart, I think a lot of people forget before, when he was in college, he had a altercation with a fan in the stands. If it wasn't for that, he was probably going to come out that year, and he would have been a top 5 pick in the draft, without question.
He went to OK State, right?
Yeah, Oklahoma State is where he went to college. So for the Celtics to get him where they did, I don't remember exactly where. It was not the top 5. It was a year after. It was a steal at the time in my mind, and it's worked out wholeheartedly to this point.
I agree. He's gonna be a cog on a championship team, whether it's a Celtic team or not. Eventually, he's gonna be like the meta world piece on a team that wins a championship. Fully believe that.
He's a winning player, a fearless winning player on both sides.
And he's kind of a psycho, which is perfect.
Exactly. All right, so there's no hiding at Cass. We are in the golden era of point guards.
Absolutely.
Or ball handlers, however you want to classify this era. Because some people don't want to classify Harden as a point guard, which is fine. Um, that wasn't a joke, but whatever.
I know, but I thought you were just going back to that.
No.
Like his position.
So, I mean, this isn't going to be a position where we really argue with each other about. So I mean, who? Why don't you start? Who do you have at point guard?
My favorite player in basketball right now. And what's funny is you like Clay because he's so aesthetically pleasing because he shoots threes the most conventional way. Like it's perfect every time. I love Steph, and he's my point guard because Steph is getting off a three no matter how he has to, no matter what he has to do, going under a screen, over a screen, like whatever he has to do to get off a three. It's to me, it's the most entertaining to watch. He has the quickest release in the NBA. It's he gets a lot out of his size too. I mean, he's like 6'1", 6'2", and he's a $150 soaking wet, and he's just hoisting threes, and he has no filter. He'll just throw them up from wherever. So, and I thought he was a perfect fit on my team. When I made my team, it was originally around Steph because I want him shooting a bunch of threes, and then hopefully Hassan and Bam get the ball back out to him. He sorry, Steph gets me choked up. So,
God, I hope that wasn't planned.
No, just kidding. To me, you were talking a lot about Allen Iverson last week about changing the game. Steph Curry, in my opinion, has changed the game of basketball in a way that nobody since Wilt Chamberlain has. You no longer practice a layup when you go out on an NBA court or a basketball court. You immediately go and shoot a few threes and see what happens. He made shooting threes cool. He changed, I think, philosophies in basketball where it's get as many threes and layups as you can, and that's how you win games. So Steph Curry's my point guard, my favorite player to watch in the NBA. And again, all around one of the best human beings in the NBA. Great guy, going to fit on the team. He's going to be a leader when he has to, and he has championship pedigree. He's got 3 ships, and that shouldn't be overlooked.
Yeah, and you're right. I did talk a lot about Allen Iverson the last episode, and I compared his impact on the game to Steph's impact on the game because as you know, because you listened, but we didn't really talk about it. Kobe and Michael Jordan get a lot of credit for changing the game of basketball, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
But I think Allen Iverson also deserves credit because, like Steph, he's just an average-looking dude in terms of height.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people, not me and you, but there are plenty of people who are, 6 foot, 6'1", who are super silky smooth with the ball. With that, you're not silky smooth with basketball, that's for sure. You don't have their handles.
We're playing 1-on-1 for EOTB.
You don't have their handles, dude. That's not an insult. Very few people in the world have their handles.
But I consider myself silk,
Okay, well, whatever. I got people who disagree, but I mean that was the point I was making is that it's obviously play style. They're not similar, but impact on like future generations and giving people like hope. NBA is.
I completely heard what you're saying. It's to me, you're like saying Iverson with like normal looking people or short people. And then it's like, okay, there's a handful of those people that have come into the NBA. And it's like Steph, and it's like almost every player in the NBA now has to be able to shoot a three. And I attribute a lot of that to him.
That's fair. I think before, to make it to the NBA, you had to be able to get to the rim. And that was something Iverson said was, anyone can do.
And even as much as I love Kobe and Jordan, their play style has completely been, outlasted where they don't want it. DeMar DeRozan is Kobe and Jordan, except like all he's doing is shooting mid-range jumpers, and he's just not doing it as efficiently. But like nobody wants DeMar DeRozan anymore, and it's like because it's not effective. So I agree with what you were saying. I just think Steph has changed it in ways we'll never see in our lifetime again.
Yeah, and I mean that's a good sign for basketball that it keeps progressing. So at the end of the day, it's all good things. So you like Steph because he could pull up from anywhere, doesn't give a fuck.
I know
he knows it's going in. And the guy that rivals him, if JJ Redick, I heard him say on a podcast, if he was to build the perfect shooter, he would use Steph Curry's balls and Damian Lillard's range.
I knew it. Damian Lillard's a superstar, by the way, in my opinion.
In my opinion, he is a superstar, but I don't know, NBA league fan general population, I don't know if he's considered a superstar yet, but I mean, he's top 4 point guards in the NBA, in my opinion.
Without a
Um,
doubt.
I did kind of want to go Luka here as a disclosure, but I talked a lot about him last episode, and I didn't talk about Dame, so wanted to give Dame his love. Dame also works better with this lineup than Luka did because of his shooting ability.
Yep.
I mean, there's nothing to say. His range is in the gym, plays with a ton of swag, a lot of heart. He's not afraid to chirp anyone, and he will literally pull up on you no matter where he is. So you have to always pay attention. He spreads the floor tremendously. And you're right. I would probably have Dame not guard Steph, but to watch that matchup for like a quarter or two would be kind of fun.
Yeah. And Dame's a killer too. He even though he hasn't been to the finals, he's hit ridiculous shots to put his team out of the next round.
Right. And I mean, like, yeah, you have really good defenders who could guard Dame.
Yeah.
But I'll take my chances.
Oh, absolutely. And Dame's one of those players that I would have to put Drew on Dame, and then I'd put Steph on your Smart.
Yeah, see, I'm fine with you putting Drew on Dame. If you put Kawhi on Dame, I'd be more scared. And that's not a disrespect to Drew. I just think like the size factor.
Yeah.
Is well.
I mean, it would be interesting if we actually did play against each other, because whoever I put on Simmons, it would be different because I don't need a great perimeter defender. I just need somebody who can play around, jump with him a little bit and can match his athleticism.
Yeah, but you need someone who can guard him because, I mean, he could bring it up.
Well, yeah, he is a point guard. I mean, power forward.
But so now that you know my whole lineup, minus the sixth man, do you understand why Ben Simmons would work differently in this lineup than he does with the Sixers?
Absolutely. I don't think, but you said, I don't think Damon's are going to give him the ball off the pick and roll still the same way.
So that's fair. But I think when Ben brings the ball up, there's more space for him to operate. Like, because I could give Dame some possessions off where he just chills.
Would Dame let that happen, though, as a killer?
Not in crunch time.
That's what I'm saying. Who's taking your last shot in crunch
time? Either Dame.
Dame?
I'm gonna draw up a play that could get Dame and or Clay open, and I'll live with either.
And I think I'd have to give my two superstars a chance to get a ball.
If it's an ATO, I'll put it this way. If it's an ATO, and after timeout, for those who don't know, I'm probably going to draw it up for Clay. But if it's like, fuck it, like just go, I'm going to let it ride with Dame.
Yeah, Clay's spot up. You could get a play going for Clay, where Dame could just be like everything went to shit, get a ball off.
Right. And I mean, in crunch time, in an ATO, I'm bringing my sixth man in too. And
I know who your sixth man is.
You're gonna have to stretch that floor for me.
I know who your sixth man is. I've been able to get. I got 3 out of your 6.
Who is it?
JJ.
Yeah, it's JJ. Because it pained me last week that the last episode that I couldn't talk about JJ. He's my man. I love him so much. Yeah, and I mean, I said Lou Williams is the best sixth man in the NBA. Totally meant that. But if I just need one shot, I want JJ in there.
Yep, I agree.
Who's your sixth man? Because you didn't give it to me, so I don't even know.
And I'm glad we didn't have the same one. I'm going with Andre Iguodala. Again, I just love. He's gonna lock up. You don't like Andre?
No, I think it's funny because you'll see why.
Oh, because Tyler picked Andre?
Yeah.
Iguodala is going to lock up. He's championship pedigree, and he can hit a big shot if he has to. It'd be really fun if down the stretch, and I really needed to stop, take Steph out, and just let those five guys eat, and just it'd be hard for anybody to get a shot off.
I mean, is Iggy good defensively this year? I mean, he hasn't played in a very long time. I don't know.
No, I mean, I don't know
what you're saying in your mindset there.
Yeah. I'm more going on reputation rather than what I saw this year, because I know he only played 10 or 12 games.
And not well, from what I remember.
No, but I mean, he did miss 60 or 50 games or whatever, and then came back.
He didn't. No. He chose not to play.
He chose to sit out. Okay, well.
Because he's a bitch.
Wow, hot take. Scott Andre
So
Iguodala.
obviously we were doing this and we got some listener responses, so I don't want to spend too much time on ours. But who was like maybe one or two guys that, kind of pained you to leave off? Because obviously we had the pick of the litter, so.
Yeah, my superstars were really hard. I mean, to be honest, if we were probably being honest with ourselves and we needed a win in 1 year, I mean, you might not admit that. I don't know how you don't have LeBron on the team.
He'd be my fourth. I almost picked him, to be honest.
I mean, he's the best teammate. He's the best, probably still the best player. And then Giannis is incredible. You have to build the team around Giannis where you pretty much have just shooters around the floor.
Yeah.
You can't really have great players and Giannis at this point in his career, in my opinion. So those were two that was really hard. I know you're going to make fun of me a lot for this. I wanted a pass first point guard that I thought was really talented.
Did you think of Ricky Rubio? Because I did too.
No, I hate Ricky Rubio, but no. I almost went Lonzo.
I don't hate that. Before the NBA stopped, Lonzo and Brandon Ingram were tearing up the league.
And they were bringing, Lonzo's a 8 guy right now in his career, and that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, to be, I definitely didn't think we were going to talk a lot about Lonzo, but to have like the distractions Lonzo dealt with, his rookie year and just on the court and whatever, and
his dad being an asshole, pretty much.
Yeah, and then LeBron being like, "Nah, I'm all set with you." Like he's turned it around. His shot is getting better every year. I think he's in the perfect system with the Pelicans, especially with Alvin Gentry and Zion running up the floor with him.
Throwing lobs to Zion's gonna be very nice for a while.
Dude, I mean, they're already doing it from half court. Like, it's absurd. But I wouldn't. I mean, knowing how much you love Steph Curry, it would have really showed me something if you put Lonzo here. I would have been taken aback, but only because I know you love Steph, not because I think he's a bad pick.
I know. Steph's just one of my, Steph's unfortunate. Well, not unfortunate. He's just one of my favorite players. And I was like, well, I can't, hate on Steph if I'm going to go, But Lonzo got next. Lonzo's got next to be my backup if we had done a deeper team. Who did it pain you to leave off?
Seth Curry.
Seth?
His brother.
Best three-point shooter of all in our generation, right?
He is. He leads the league in NBA in three-point shooting percentage. But no, that that was a joke. It pained me to leave off Luka because I love him so much. Zion was a big one. I had Zion at the 4 before I put Ben Simmons in there.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, it would have been fun, but I just feel like it would have been the same ideology as Ben Simmons, but Zion could shoot just a little better.
And Zion plays the 4, so you couldn't have done that.
Well, I mean, if you really have a problem with my lineup, you're gonna have a problem with your best friend's lineup too when you read it. So,
the only other person I was thinking of when you said Zion is it would have been if we weren't playing this as I kind of thought of it as a game 7. Ja would be fun to have for a few seasons to see what he could do at this point.
Yeah. So when you came on, I told you I was having a lot of trouble with it, and I had Ja penciled in over Dame.
Oh, really?
But yeah, and that's when I said if I have Ja, then I can't. Then I have to change Ben Simmons. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Whereas Ben Simmons and Dame work. Although John Ben would have worked too because Ja would have drove off the picks.
But if you're trying to win for one season, you don't want Ja to lead the team. Dame's the guy to go to lead that team. I agree with that pick.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really know if I was doing it for one game or like a season. What'd you say?
We didn't specify. So
yeah. And another one, that pained me a little was Kyrie because I really like watching Kyrie play. I just don't know if Kyrie dribbling is. I could watch Kyrie dribble all day.
He literally fell off the face of the earth.
I mean, so did Andre Iguodala, and you picked him, and so did Whiteside for a stretch of time, and you picked him.
I was more making a flat Earth joke, but sure.
Whatever. But yeah, no, I like watching Kyrie. I mean, I think Dame is better, but the thing was guys you like, and I like Kyrie.
No, Kyrie's great with the ball. I completely agree with that. Kyrie's ball handling is incredible.
Yeah, he's a dumbass, but who isn't nowadays? So
that's hashtag subtweet.
All right, so let's get into some of the listeners gave their own submissions for this. Let's start with a good friend of the show, Tyler Diamore of Diamore Designs. He is making the t-shirts for the End of the Bench show, so we're very appreciative of that. Also appreciative that he has been a big supporter since day one of the End of the Bench. So I'm very happy that he wrote in. So I'm just gonna read his traditionally cast. I'm gonna go just point guard to center.
Am
Or
I going to
what
be
we call
calling him
center.
after this?
What?
Am I going to be calling him after this?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. So he also has Damian Lillard at point guard.
Good pick. Like it.
Yeah, I mean, in comparison to the shooting guards that we picked, this one's kind of like on our brand. He went with Danny Green of the Lakers.
Kind of like the best of both worlds from like
Good shooter.
he like does both the things we want our players to do, just a little less on both ends.
Yeah, but you know
Except
he
he's a better 3-point shooter.
He also has the winning pedigree. So
I love Danny Green. He's made a lot of difference for the Lakers, I think.
yeah, and I trust him guarding. You know, I think his defense has fell off a little bit, just a very tiny bit, but I still trust him guarding like an elite 1 through 3 if I have to.
Him on Marcus Smart would be fun because that would be Danny wouldn't let it get under his skin, but they're just two physical, tough players that be going after each other, which would be fun.
There's something to be said for like the emotionless tough guy, and that's like kind of what Danny Green is. Not like a tough guy like an asshole, but like he doesn't get fazed by much, and he doesn't like show you when he's like really happy.
Have you seen the pictures? I'm not trying to get political, of just Danny Green at the protest.
No, but I saw a picture of Dame at a protest today, and he looked kind of fat.
No.
So,
but he was locked arms in the front. Danny Green had like a gas mask on. It was pretty cool.
Okay. And then Diamore, he went Luka next.
Well, so that's out of position. That's not a position. All right, continue.
I mean, Luka at forward is not terrible. I would have went with him at point guard, which I told him. But he's fine to put him there.
Height-wise, it's just he doesn't play that position.
He can't guard that position, which is the biggest problem.
Offensively,
he could play there, but defensively, no. No surprise, Carmelo Anthony playing the 4 because Tyler Diamore loves Carmelo Anthony. We rip on him for it, but we love him. Remember that time I used him in 2K and I made like a dunk over you and Diamore just got right under your skin?
Well, no, like legitimately under my skin. I'm pretty sure he crawled under there for a little bit.
Yeah, because I fucking dunked over Giannis with
I won.
With JJ. With Melo.
With JJ. The story gets better every time we tell it.
Yeah, and you know who else is dunking over people? Zion Williamson, because he's playing the 5 for Tyler.
Wow.
He went super small.
Mind that he picked a Duke guy to play the 5. And he's going super small. Both our 5s are handling that Zion. Not like strength-wise, but like Hassan's getting and Miles are getting every rebound.
Yeah. I mean, that's assuming that people box out anymore, which they don't. So, I mean.
Well, and Zion's going around Hassan and Miles. So.
Yeah. And he's jumping out of the gym. His second jump is absurd. But, you know, whatever. I like that we have Zion in here because it did hurt me a little that, you know, we didn't talk about him.
He's a fun player.
Yeah. And then to round out his bench, I told him to give me 6, and he gave me 7, which is fine.
All right, he's an accountant.
He also picked Andre Iguodala.
Good pick. That a boy, Ty. Proud of you.
And in case Zion gets manhandled with size, he has Steven Adams too.
I like that pick a lot. I think Steven Adams is a tough guy in the NBA where you need it. So
yeah, I like Steven Adams. I probably would have picked him too if I had like a stretch 4 in my lineup. But I went with like a stretch 5 instead.
No, if you have a 4 that can't really shoot, you can't take a 5 that can't shoot either. So
right. So do you want to go Kev Jones first or Big Kev McLaughlin first?
Let's go Big Kev. Big Kev texted me about it. He's only Big Kev because he's 7 feet tall, everyone.
He's not 7 feet. He's 6'10".
Okay. Well, go ahead, Scott.
I got you, Big Kev. I know how much that bothers you.
Sure.
Big Kev is going Luka Doncic, point guard.
Love the way you say Doncic.
That's how you're supposed to say it.
I know. I love the way you say it. Why? You're pretty defensive since our Ben Simmons argument.
Wasn't an argument. It's not an argument when I win.
Oh, sounds like every argument I've had with a girl. Also,
He also has Marcus Smart. No
that doesn't surprise
surprise.
me. Does he have Jason Tatum?
He does, and this one really hurt Cass because I literally wanted to do Smart and Tatum too, but I was like, I don't want to just like I want to show like a little versatility and not just put Celtics down.
Yeah.
But I love this pick. I mean, Tatum is going to be a top 10 player in the league. I truly believe that. And he could. I mean, look,
Yeah.
he's not Kawhi, but he could look Kawhi in the face and not be scared.
I
He
agree.
could score on Kawhi.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has to score on everybody now in the NBA, but
I'm just saying, if it's Tatum versus Kawhi, yeah, edge Kawhi, but it's not insurmountable.
no, it's like 9.5 to like 7.5.
It's like 70-30 or 65-35 or something like
Sure.
that.
I'll give Tatum that. I mean, and Tatum's up and coming, but
Yep.
Tatum's got a while to go until he's Kawhi.
He has a while to go till he's Kawhi, but he's about to get paid this summer, so good for
That's
him.
for sure.
Celtics will probably offer him a max this summer,
Well,
which is
21-year-olds get paid more than I'll ever see in my life.
Yeah, it's well deserved though.
No, I do.
And a guy, look, a guy we haven't talked about, the only person to put this guy on his team, LeBron James.
Good for A. I appreciate it. Kev's a Celtic fan. I appreciate him putting LeBron on. Obviously, I think so. Scott, I know this isn't what we talked about. If you were told you get one season to be the general manager, fantasy draft, you have the first pick, who are you taking? One season. You have to win a championship.
I have a legitimate question to follow up that.
I was like, I just asked you one.
When do I pick next?
Let's say it's a serpentine draft, so you won't pick until
like pick 60.
60? Yeah, 1 in 60.
Then I'll go LeBron then.
See, and I think that speaks to how great he is at 36, 37 still.
Yeah, I think for some reason in my head, if it was just like not a snake draft,
if you had 1 in 31,
yeah, like for some reason, then I would maybe pick someone else. But I need someone. If I'm not picking again till 60 or 61 or whatever, I need someone who can literally do everything.
I agree. No, I think that's a good pick.
And at number one in that situation, I would say it's either LeBron, Kawhi, or a healthy KD.
Right now, I'm pretty sure Giannis is very close. I think, like maybe.
Yeah, but if I'm not picking again, yeah, I guess Giannis because you have to build a team around Giannis.
If you legitimately you could say Giannis. If you said Giannis is the best player in the league, which I don't think he is, you could say the next best player on his team might be around 60. So, and he's already doing it.
Yeah. Well, they got rid of their second best player when they got rid of Malcolm Brogdon, and I'll fight anyone who says Chris Middleton's better. You know how you didn't like my Ben Simmons pick?
Am I gonna hate Big Kev's point guard pick?
His center.
What does he have? I guarantee
he has your least. He has your least favorite player in the NBA. At center.
My least favorite player in the NBA. I think I hate James Harden, but
breaking up a little.
If it's, then I'm gonna be pissed.
I can't really hear you, so I'm just gonna say it's Nikola Jokic.
I do hate. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're just breaking up a little.
I hate Nikola Jokic too because he doesn't do anything well on the court.
And I don't really see how he fits on this team. Like Big Kev was pretty confident that this would work, but I don't see it.
So he's given Jokic because
Jokic to me has to bring the ball up or touch the ball every possession.
Where LeBron has to have the ball in his hand every possession. And
I feel like this team has a lot of playmakers, which is fine. But I don't know.
Well, LeBron adapts to anything. It would be Lillard and Jokic, and I don't think Jokic is valuable if he doesn't touch the ball.
Luka and Jokic.
Oh, Luka. Okay, so I still don't think Jokic is valuable if he doesn't touch the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I like Kevin's team because he also gave me some bench guys. So let's get into those because then it kind of makes a little more sense. He has Devin Booker,
Yeah, I'm putting Book in over Smart.
D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Davis, who I would put Davis in over Jokic.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm sure that would happen in game 2 when LeBron got his way.
Yeah, because I think I like Jokic. I think there is a place for a guy like Nikola Jokic in the NBA, but on a team like this, I like him more like on the bench and like kind of running the show off the bench. Not to say that Jokic is a bench player, but in this exercise, that's how I would view it.
Yeah, I mean, Jokic is never going to be able to lead a team to a championship by himself. It's always going to have to be as a second fiddle.
And to be fair, I don't think like in today's NBA any center will lead a team to the promised
except
land.
Ben Simmons might be able to do it from the center position.
Yeah, he would.
Let's hear Kev Jones's, because this is the one you're raving about being the best one.
It is the best one. It's honestly, I wasn't being sarcastic.
I know.
I'm gonna pull up my phone because he gave me a detailed explanation as to why he picked this team.
That kid is the greatest.
I'm just gonna run through it because we've been doing this for I think a pretty long time. So
never heard that before.
He has Steph Curry at point guard. We've touched on him. He has Kawhi. He has the Clippers, the wings. He has Paul George and Kawhi.
Okay.
Kevin Durant playing the 4.
Okay.
And Anthony Davis playing the 5.
So he is the most fucking athletic team of all time.
Yeah, and he told me it, and this is what he said. He said everyone can play defense pretty well except for Curry. That's a fact, but I think Steph is a little better. Steph is better defensively than people give him credit for, but
absolutely
understood.
Good for his size.
Everyone can shoot well except for Giannis. What the fuck? Oh, he has Giannis as his 6th man. I forgot that part.
So Kev almost took the 5 best players in the NBA.
Yeah. He said Giannis kind of is the only one that has to be ball dominant to be effective offensively. But with shooters around him, that could be super effective. It's factual, and he definitely has the lineup for that.
And Giannis coming off the bench would be dangerous because he would just be able to do whatever he wanted for as long as he wanted.
Yeah. This lineup can score from every level, 3-ball, mid-range, turnarounds with Kawhi, KD, AD, and down low in the postgame with AD and Giannis. He said, then he ends it, I don't know if this is a ridiculous lineup, but that's what I got.
I like how he prefaces with that. No, that's it. I mean, hey, that's an amazing lineup.
This lineup's winning.
See all those personalities mesh, but it'd be fun.
Honestly, the personality I'm most concerned with is
Durant.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, like Anthony Davis may get a bad rap for being like soft or like not playing through stuff. I think that may bother a guy like Giannis. But I think that's a stretch.
My only thing is, and I'm defending AD because he's a Laker, but if we're going to give AD the thing of being soft, then we have to give Kawhi the same label.
I agree.
But I agree. You're right. No.
And look, I mean, we just marveled at Damian Lillard's range, and the biggest shot of his career is a shot that Paul George was too lazy enough to contest.
Agreed.
So, you know.
No, I mean, listen, if that team broke down, it would be like the Miami Heat with LeBron, Wade, and Bosh breaking down. So it would be like just too many superstars, too much, not enough ball. I mean, that's the most athletic team that you said by far.
How do you think Steph and Giannis play together? Because I mean, look, it's rumored. I don't know how true it is that like the Warriors are, seeking to get Giannis in a trade.
I saw that.
I mean, I don't see the magic to Steph. To me, is his ball handling and being able to shoot off the dribble. Like, I think if he's just a spot up shooter, which I think he would turn into with Giannis.
I don't think he could because he had Durant and he didn't. My favorite thing about Steph,
but Durant doesn't need the ball like Giannis does.
I agree, but
because Giannis can't shoot.
But they could give it to him in the post, and every once in a while him go off. I just don't. I think he'd put up like 18 to 22 a game. I don't think he'd put up 30 a game anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I also maybe it's just because I think if you turn Giannis into just a post player, you're minimizing Giannis.
Yeah. Well, no, you would definitely have to. But my favorite thing about Steph is how he's always dulled himself so others can shine. Like he was the best player on a 73-9 team, and then he was literally okay with them going and getting the second best player in basketball. And like to me, that speaks to like him being a really good teammate and just wanting to win. So I think Steph would make it happen. It would be Giannis who would have the problem with anything.
I think honestly, if you pair Giannis with Draymond Green, you have probably the hardest working front court in the NBA.
Oh my, they would be up the floor faster than the guards every time.
I mean, like,
That'd be impressive. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Hey, the rest of the league better hope that doesn't happen.
Facts. I hope Kev's whole team doesn't happen, dude.
That's for sure. Yeah, if your team happens, no one else has fun in the NBA.
Yeah. And no one else
Enjoying
had
a
fun.
lot of games.
And no one else had fun in the NBA, but we had a lot of fun today. We're gonna wrap it up here because I think we've been doing this for quite a while. Cass, thank you very much for coming on. Everyone, thank you for listening and watching. Please rate, review, subscribe to the podcast wherever you watch or listen to it. Give us a follow on Instagram at @the_under_the_bench, Twitter at the EOTB. If you want to be a monthly supporter, the link is in all the podcast descriptions. 50% of your monthly donation goes to No Kid Hungry, and you will also get a t-shirt. So with that, we're going to wrap it up. Cass, thank you very much, man. I'll talk to you later.
I appreciate it. I'll see you later, Stilly.